Alright, this is a short video on changing the oil in a Ford Crown Victoria. So, my driveway is kind of slanted, so instead of using the jack stands, I have these little ramps that work really well actually, as long as you have the little rubber stopper on them. And then I've got wheel chocks on the back. I've laid down a nice big moving blanket to catch any oil. You don't want to stain your driveway, and a couple little carpet things, carpet squares, just to be comfortable. And I don't know if it matters, but I like to take off the oil cap before I drain the oil, just to help the flow a little bit. And I also drive the car a little bit, get the car warm, so that the oil is nice and warm and will flow out better before I drain it. By the way, it helps to have an impact wrench. Impact driver helps a huge amount. Lifesaver. So, as you see, the oil pan's right there. It's a 16mm for me. It might be different for you. Got a nice big oil catch pan, whatever you want to call it. I've used the smaller ones, and those really suck because it just spills everywhere and it makes a mess. So just get a bigger one, oversized one. You could drain a freaking semi-truck with this thing, so that's pretty cool. And then up here, there is the oil filter, the little white can. I use the Motorcraft one, FL910S. I just like using OEM stuff just to be on the safe side. And let's check out the oil, 5W20. Full synthetic. My car's got 108,000 miles, so I use the high mileage stuff. As far as oil brands, I've heard Castrol's good, Mobil One, it's really good. I was using Pennzoil, but I heard that's not as good, so I don't know. I think now I'm going to use Mobil One because I think it's the best, but probably doesn't even matter. And the Royal Purple stuff is, I heard it's a ripoff. So, and I got this 5 quart bottle was $30 on sale at O'Reilly's, and then this was $6, so paid like 40 bucks for 6 quarts of oil. And if you do the Jiffy Lube route, you'll probably pay like around 80 bucks for a synthetic. So with the oil plus the filter, you're probably looking at $50 into it, so you're saving about $20 to $30. It's not a whole lot of savings, but it's kind of fun to do it yourself, and when you do it yourself, you know that you're doing a good job instead of trusting someone else to do it. So let's get started. By the way, when you're working on cars like this, I like to have a pair of pants that I don't care about getting dirty, and a shirt, because you might get some oil stains on it. So just a little quick tip there, have a dedicated set of clothes for working on cars like this when it's messy. Even when you're working on anything else, you're on the floor all the time, so your clothes will get dirty. Alright, anyway, let's break this free. Okay, so it's starting to drip a little bit. Now I'll take the rest out by hand. Oh. Not loose enough, so I'll loosen it a little bit more. Alright, now slowly take the bolt out. When it's just about to come out, it's gonna pour out really fast, so take your hand away quick when you take the bolt out. Alright, here it goes. That is a hot bolt. If you've driven the car right before this, it's going to be hot down here, so be careful not to burn yourself. That is dirty oil. I went 4,000 miles. Usually that's a little too much for me. I usually go like 3,000 to 3,500 miles on a full synthetic. Just to be on the safe side. I guess I'm kind of OCD like that, but there you go. And make sure you unplug this little doodad before you drain the oil, otherwise it'll spurt everywhere. So when you're draining it on this pan thing, so let this drain until it's a slower drip. It'll take about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes maybe. Alright, now we got a slow drip going. It's been about 10 minutes. I wiped down the bolt with the rag. Now we put the bolt back in. Make sure you hand turn it first. So you want to strip it, and then just kind of clean this up a little bit. Alright. Now get your impact driver. It's hard doing this with one hand. Doesn't have to be crazy tight, but just get it nice and snug. Alright, clean it up. You can put some brake cleaner on that, get that even more clean, but I'll probably just use some simple green, spray that down. Alright, on to the oil filter. Alright, so like I said before, there's the oil filter, the white can. And you can reach it from the bottom or the top. On the Crown Victoria, in your car it might be different. I'll just go from the bottom, just for the video's sake. And if you ever have trouble getting it out, you can use one of these oil filter wrenches, adapter things. Just attach this to a socket wrench, and that'll help a lot. Make sure you get the right size. So hopefully your filter's not torqued down too tightly. This one I can slowly screw it off. It's another good thing about doing the oil yourself is that if you get it done somewhere else, like a Jiffy Lube, they'll probably torque it down super tight, like monkey tight, and you won't be able to get it off without a wrench like the one I showed you. So I did this one myself, and I made sure not to tighten it too tight. So for the next time, right now, it'll be easy to come off. So it'll start dripping. It's gonna be messy, so make sure your oil pan, catch pan, is positioned correctly. This oil filter is still hot, so be careful. Alright, there we go. There'll be some oil in the filter too, so empty that out. Some Crown Victorias I noticed had the like a funnel, so the oil will drip really smoothly. This one doesn't have it, but it kind of drips through that hole there. So after you're done, make sure you clean up all this oil with some brake cleaner or some simple green, and again, wait until it's a slow drip, and then go ahead and put your new oil filter in. Alright, so before you put the oil filter in, you want to prepare it. Put a little bit of oil on the rubber. So just open your bottle of oil and just kind of rub it around on the rubber seal there, all up in here, even get on the threads a little bit in there. Alright, no more drip. Now let's clean this up a little bit. Shop rag. Microfiber towels are good too. Alright. Now get your new oil filter. Like I said, don't get it too tight. Just nice and snug. Alright, that's good. And then just kind of wipe this area down. Alright, now let's put the oil in. Make sure you clean this up nice and good too, because you don't want to get it all nasty and gunky. Just, get all the oil out of here and simple green it, or some brake cleaner. Alright, so the owner's manual says 6 quarts. So we'll fill it up to about 5.5 quarts, and then we'll check the levels. So you want to do this very carefully. Don't spill anything. Alright, here's the 1 quart bottle. Let's pour in half of this. I guess you're supposed to pour it this way, I'm not sure. Seems like it would be the other way. Alright, that's about half. Let's see where that is. Check the levels. So we'll turn the car on, get it off the ramps, and then let it run for a few minutes. And then turn the car off, check the levels, and then probably add a little bit more. Alright, let's crank it up. We'll just let that run for a few minutes, get the oil flowing through the system, and then we'll back it off the ramp. Make sure you check for any leaks. Check your work. Looks pretty good, no dripping. Alright, I've lowered the hood a little bit, and we'll get it off the ramp. Nice and easy. Alright, now we'll turn the car off. After you turn the car off, let it sit for 3 to 5 minutes. Just let the oil settle to the bottom so you can get an accurate reading. Let's check the oil. Alright, when checking the dipstick, make sure you clean it off first. So pull it out, clean it off, put it back in, and then pull it out, you get an accurate reading. So as you can see, it's about 1/4 quart low. So I'll add about 1/4 quart. You got to remember that there's still going to be some old oil in the motor, so that probably accounts for about 1/5 quart. So That's how much I have left. So just leave a little bit of room because you don't want to overfill your engine with oil. Alright, let's check it again. Alright, as you can see, we are right on the money. So we are pretty much done. So disposing of the old oil is kind of a pain in the ass because it makes a mess. It's probably one of the hardest parts of changing the oil in my opinion. But if you have one of these oil pan catches that have the top on it, that makes it way easier. And I'll also have a dedicated funnel for disposing of the old oil, because you don't want to get that mixed up with the one you use for putting oil in the engine. Also try to do this on a flat patch of grass, because in all likelihood you will spill some of this old oil, so you don't want to get it on your driveway. And I have this little oil cloth thing on the bottom to help some of the catch some of the old oil. So I just take the whole thing off, and then it's kind of hard to do this with one hand, but you get the idea. Just be very careful not to spill it. Also, there's probably more than 5 quarts of old oil in this catch canister, so it will probably overflow this bottle, so just be wary of that. By the way, a little quick tip, this oil cap can go like that, different orientations, or that, which I like better. So just something if you didn't know. Alright, and like that, we are done. Pretty easy job as long as you have all the right stuff. In the past I've had the wrong size oil filter. That was a nightmare because I had to find some way to get to the parts store. And by the way, the old oil can be disposed of at your local auto parts store like Pep Boys or O'Reilly's or whatever. So, and this is a good way to get into working on cars, doing an oil change. It's one of the first things that I started doing to get into working on your own cars, which is really satisfying and it's a lot of fun. So anyway, thanks for watching, and maybe I'll have another Crown Vic video in the future. See you later.